Quanzhou is the largest city of Fujian Province, People's Republic of China. It borders all other prefecture-level cities in Fujian but to and faces the Taiwan Strait. In older English works, its name may appear as Chinchu, Chinshu, Choanshu, or Zaytun, from Arabic. The prefecture-level city of Quanzhou has an area of 11,245 square kilometers and, as of the 2010 census, a population of 8,128,530 inhabitants. Its extended metropolitan is home to 6,107,475 inhabitants, encompassing the Lisheng, Fengzi, and Luojiang urban districts, Jinjiang, Nan'an, and Xixi cities, Huyan County, and the Quanzhou district for Taiwanese investment. Quanzhou is now the 12th largest Chinese extended metropolitan area. Administrative divisions. The prefecture-level city of Quanzhou administers 4 districts, 3 county-level cities, 4 counties, and 2 special economic districts. The People's Republic of China claims Jinmen County, more widely known as Kinmen County, as part of Quanzhou, but the territory is currently under the jurisdiction of the Republic of China. Since its founding in 1949, the People's Republic of China has considered Jinmen part of Quanzhou. However, the PRC has never controlled Jinmen. The Republic of China currently administers Jinmen. Geography. Quanzhou is a coastal prefecture bordered by Xiamen, a sub-provincial city to the southwest. It also borders the Jiangzhou and Longyan prefecture-level city towards the west. Pushan and Fuzhou form Quanzhou's northeast border and Sanming forms the northwest one. Quanzhou is mountainous and has many rivers and tributaries originating from the interior. The prefecture's 2 major rivers flow into Quanzhou Bay from the west and north, respectively, forming wide estuaries. Quanzhou has 4 distinct seasons. Its moderate temperature ranges from 0 to 38 degrees Celsius. In summer there are typhoons that bring rain and some damage to the city. History. Trading port Quanzhou was established in 718 during the Tang dynasty. In those days, Guangzhou was China's greatest seaport, but this status would be surpassed later by Quanzhou. During the Song dynasty and Yuan dynasty, Quanzhou was one of the world's largest seaports, hosting a large community of foreign-born inhabitants from across the Eurasian world. Today, a number of relics related to that era are preserved and exhibited in the Quanzhou Overseas Relations Museum. A particularly important exhibit is the so-called Quanzhou ship, a seagoing junk that sunk sometime after 1272, and was recovered in 1973–74. Due to its reputation, Quanzhou has been called the starting point of the maritime Silk Road. Zhao Rugua, a Quanzhou customs inspector during the Song dynasty, wrote the Zhu Fanji, which was about foreign places and items involved in trade with China. From the Arabic name of the city, Zaytun, the word Saturn would be coined. Zaytun is also the word for olive and the symbol of peace in the Arabic and Persian languages. Quanzhou may have been given this title by the Muslims in honor of fact that it was a cultural melting pot at the time due to the trade culture. In the travels of Marco Polo, Quanzhou was listed as the departure point for Marco Polo's expedition to escort the 17-year-old Mongol princess bride Kokochi to her new husband, in the Mongol Ilkhanate. In 1357, however, a military revolt by the local Muslim militia against the Yuan dynasty led to the ISPA-8 rebellion that resulted in large civilian casualties in Quanzhou, with the Yuan loyalist commander Chen Yuding massacring the Muslim community of the Chinese Li family in Quanzhou. Li Nu, the son of Li Lu, visited Hormuz in Persia in 1376, converted to Islam, married a Persian girl, and brought her back to Quanzhou. Li Nu was the ancestor of the Ming dynasty reformer Li Qi. Quanzhou was an important port in Yuan dynasty. For example, the Mongol invasion of Java during the reign of Kublai Khan sailed from this port. The Ding family of Chendai in Quanzhou claims descent from the Muslim leader Sayyid Ajul Shams al-Din Omar through his son Nasser al-Din. The Ding family has branches in Taiwan, the Philippines, and Malaysia. Among the diaspora Chinese communities there, no longer practicing Islam but still maintaining a Hui identity. The Deputy Secretary General of the Chinese Muslim Association on Taiwan, Ishaq Ma, has claimed Sayyid is an honorable title given to descendants of the Prophet Muhammad. Hence Sayyid Shamsuddin must be connected to Prophet Muhammad. The Ding family in Taisi Township in Yunlin County of Taiwan traces descent from him through the Ding of Quanzhou in Fujian. Nasruddin was appointed governor in Karajank, and retained his position in Yunnan until his death, which Rashid, writing about 1300, says occurred 5 or 6 years before. Nasruddin's son Abubakar, who had the surname Bayan Fenchen, was governor in Zaitun at the time Rashid wrote. He bore also his grandfather's title of Syed Ajel, and was Minister of Finance under Kublai's successor. Nasruddin is mentioned by M. Polo, who styles him Nesgraden. Quanzhou is a city with a long history and rich culture. It also has many religions. People believe in different religions from various countries came to Quanzhou in ancient time, especially during Song and Yuan dynasty. Religions like Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Taoism, etc. can be seen here. You can visit different places of interest about these religions in Quanzhou City. It was elected as 10th most charm city in China in 2004 by CCTV. China's first charm city selected activities. Massacre of Portuguese community. A massacre of the Portuguese at Quanzhou resulted in the Portuguese settlement of Macau, after the Portuguese bribed their way into obtaining a trade mission in Quanzhou. They inflicted savage behavior against the Chinese. In retaliation, in 1549 the entire Portuguese community of Quanzhou was exterminated by Chinese forces. The emperor had ruled that all Portuguese encountered everywhere should be killed on the spot. The result of this massacre, in addition to another at Quanzhou, resulted in the Portuguese survivors fleeing to Macau, where they were allowed by China to start a colony to build sheds for drying goods in 1557. The Portuguese were ultimately considered responsible for the massacre by the Chinese, since it was they who provoked the Chinese through rapaciousness. The Portuguese considered it permissible to attack and pillage Eastern peoples, and not treat them according to the law. The historian Kenneth Scott Latourette said that the Portuguese had chiefly themselves to thank for the massacres the Chinese committed against them. The Portuguese commander Albuquerque once stated, "A Chinese junkman knew more about courtesy and humanity than a European knight." The Chinese had massacred them after the Portuguese engaged in pillaging and murder in Chinese villages. A lesson was delivered to the Portuguese in this manner from the Chinese. They later built some rudimentary stone houses around the area now called Nulm Van. But not until 1557 did the Portuguese establish a permanent settlement in Macau, at an annual rent of 500 taels of silver. About 6 million people whose ancestors were from Quanzhou now live abroad. Most of them live in Southeast Asian countries like Singapore, the Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia, Myanmar, or Thailand. 1/10 of overseas Quanzhouners now live in Hong Kong. Minnan dialect. Locals speak the Quanzhou variety of Minnan, similar to Amoy, similar to Southeast Asian Hokkien and Taiwanese. It is essentially the same as the dialect spoken in Xiamen, and is unintelligible with Standard Chinese. Many overseas Chinese whose ancestors came from the Quanzhou area, especially those in Southeast Asia, often speak mainly Hokkien at home. In Taiwan, the locals speak a version of the Minnan language which is called Taiwanese. Around the Triangle area, which includes Quanzhou, Xiamen and Jiangsu, locals all speak Minnan languages. The dialects they speak are similar, but have different intonations. It is analogous to the differences between American English and British English. Economy. Historically, Quanzhou exported black tea, camphor, sugar, indigo, tobacco, ceramics, cloth made of grass, and some minerals. They imported, primarily from Guangzhou, wool cloth, wine, and watches, as of 1832. As of that time, the East India Company was exporting an estimated 150,000 liras a year in black tea from Quanzhou. Quanzhou is a major exporter of agricultural products such as tea, banana, lychee and rice. It is also a major producer of quarry granite and ceramics. Other industries include textiles, footwear, fashion and apparel, packaging, machinery, paper and petrochemicals. Quanzhou is the biggest automotive market in Fujian. It has the highest rate of private automobile possession. Its GDP ranked first in Fujian province for 20 years, from 1991 to 2010. In 2008, Quanzhou's textile and apparel production accounted for 10% of China's overall apparel production. The production of sport and tourism shoes accounts for 80% of Chinese, and 20% of world production. Stone exports account for 50% of Chinese stone exports. Resin handicraft exports account for 70% of the country's total. Ceramic exports account for 67% of the country's total, and candy production accounts for 20%. Different districts and counties in Quanzhou have their own special industries which are known to the rest of China. Xinjiang and Xixi are famous for apparel and textiles. Hui'an is famous for its stone. Quangang is famous for petrifaction. Dihua for ceramics. Yongchun for citrus, Anxi for oolong tea, Nanning for building materials, and Fengzi for resin. Transport. Quanzhou is an important transport hub within southeastern Fujian province. Many export industries in the Fujian interior cities will transport goods to Quanzhou ports. Quanzhou Port was one of the most prosperous ports in Tang Dynasty, while now still an important one for exporting. Quanzhou is also connected by major roads from Fuzhou to the north and Xiamen to the south. There is a passenger ferry terminal in Shijing, Nan'an, Fujian, with regular service to the Shuta port in the rock-controlled Kinmen Island. Air Xinjiang Domestic Airport is Quanzhou region's airport, served by passenger flights within Fujian province and other destinations throughout the country. Railway. Quanzhou has two kinds of railway service. The Jiangping Quanzhou Xiaocuo Railway, a conventional rail line opened California, 2001, connects several cargo stations within Quanzhou Prefecture with the interior of Fujian and the rest of the country. Until 2014, this line also had passenger service, with fairly slow passenger trains from Beijing, Wuhan, and other places throughout the country, terminating at the Quanzhou East Railway Station, a few kilometers northeast of the center of the city. Passenger service on this line was terminated, and Quanzhou East Railway Station closed on December 9, 2014. Since 2010, Quanzhou is served by the high-speed Fuzhou-Xiamen Railway, part of the Hangzhou-Fuzhou-Shenzhen High-Speed Railway, which runs along China's southeastern seacoast. High-speed trains on this line stop at Quanzhou Railway Station and Xinjiang Railway Station. Trains to Xiamen take under 45 minutes, making it a convenient weekend or day trip. By 2015, direct high-speed service has become available to a number of cities in the country's interior, from Beijing to Chongqing and Guiyang. Long-distance bus services also run daily, nightly to Shenzhen and other major cities. Colleges and universities. Huaqiao University, Yang'an University, Quanzhou Normal University, Quanzhou Medical College, Hugang Photography and Art College, Liming Vocational University. Culture. Quanzhou is one of the 24 famous historic cultural cities first approved by the Chinese government. Li Yuan Opera, Puppet Show, Gaojia Opera, Dacheng Opera. Notable historical and cultural sites include King Yuan Mountain, the tallest hill within the city limits, which hosts a great view of West Lake, East Lake Park, located in the city center. It is home to a small zoo. West Lake Park, the largest body of fresh water within the city limits. Kai Yuan Temple, a very old and famous pair of giant stone pagodas surrounded by temples and wonderful gardens and trees. Ashab Mosque, said to date to 1009, it is thought to be one of the oldest mosques in the world and the only one built in that century in China. Scholar Street, Champion Street, about 500 meters long, elegant environment, mainly engaged in tourism and cultural crafts. Notable modern cultural sites include Fengze Square, located in the city center and acts as a venue for shows and events. Dapingshan, the second tallest hill within the city limits, crowned with an enormous equestrian statue of Zheng Chenggong. The Embassy Lounge, situated in the 1916 Cultural Ideas Zone, which acts as a platform for mixing traditional Chinese art with modern building techniques and designs. It also acts as the unofficial headquarters for the expats of Quanzhou. Notable products: Dihua porcelain, Huiyan stoneware, Anxi Taiganin, Quanzhou Shaolin Five Ancestors Fist, Yongchun martial arts. The city hosted the 6th National Peasants' Games in 2008. Quanzhou is also the birthplace of the actress Yao Chen. Gallery, Mount Kanyuan Buddha, Quanzhou Tianhao Temple, Quanzhou Buddhist Temple.